fellow Toastmasters, and Gabriella, welcome. How is a woman leader like a man? She won't pull out till she's done. I know that's a little off color. But what I want to talk to you about this evening is the impact and importance of having women in leadership positions in the private sector and the public sector. I'm going to give you a brief overview of where we've come and how we've gotten there, where we are now, and hopefully where we can go next week. I'm sorry Connie's not here this evening, since she is our one candidate for elected office. I'm sorry, I'm going the blank. Political empowerment of women was probably one of the most defining characteristics of the 20th century. In countries all over the world, women fought for and won the right to vote, and then they began to run for elected offices themselves. And we've seen some very strong progress for women moving into elected office and also higher into business positions. Here in Marin, we're lucky. 4 of our 5 supervisors are women. But that's pretty exceptional, because when you look at most races, for instance, the 2 races that are current right now, the assembly race that our friend Connie is in, is 6 men, 1 woman. And the congressional race for Congressional District 2 is there are 3 men for every woman who's in that 12-person field. Fact of the matter is that women are not at parity where we want to be. In 1995, the UN World Conference on Women in Beijing set as its goal achieving 1/3 of all decision-making positions to be held by women. We are far from that 15 years later. In the private sector, 2012 was in fact a landmark year for Fortune 500 companies. We achieved 18 women as CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. 18. That's not 18%. That's 18 women out of 500. That's not quite 4%. It's hardly 1/3. In the political realm, the number of women serving in elected office at the federal level here in the United States has dropped. We were at 42nd position, 42nd rank internationally. We are now at 78th of having appropriate representation of women in political office. 78th. That's shocking. And in fact, in 2010 elections, we actually lost women. For the first time, the number of women holding federal office dropped. Why does it matter? Why is it important? When we have women in positions of leadership, the research shows that policy follows their focus and interest. There is much more attention paid to education, healthcare, environment, housing, water, infrastructure, land use, a lot of things that affect people's lives immediately. In fact, according to OECD research, a longitudinal study from 1960 to 2005, there is a direct relationship between the number of women serving in office and the amount of GDP spent on education in a country. Number of women go up, amount spent on education rises. That's key. Another thing that's important, another reason that it's important to have women in political office is because it changes the discourse. According to the World Bank, in countries where there are significant numbers of women holding elected office or high positions in the private sector, corruption goes down. And corruption is a big impediment to smooth business and smooth running of government all over the world. We see higher levels of, we see greater civility, we see more sustained and sustainable conflict resolution, and we see more efforts to reach across the aisle, whether it's across ethnic rate lines, party lines, any kinds of differences when we have women in positions of leadership. But it's a challenge. How do we get them to run? And that's where it comes to all of us, really. Because not only do we need the policies and hiring practices, the mentoring, and the support from above pushing us, we also need communities moving upwards, encouraging girls to reach high, supporting them, mentoring them, moving them on as they, and encouraging them to be ambitious. So the next time that you're looking at a stack of resumes, or a ballot, or trying to think of who to promote in your office, think about the added value of having a woman on top. Thank you.